What if everything you thought you knew wasn't the full story? Because right now, the internet is on fire. Fans are shocked. Social media is going crazy. And at the center of it all is a new development in the Pooh Shiesty case that nobody saw coming. For months, people believed they had this situation figured out. The headlines were loud, the narratives were set, and opinions were already formed. But now, something new has surfaced. Something that's making people stop, rewind, and question everything they thought was true. And here's the wild part. Some people believe this new evidence could completely shift the entire perspective of the case. Others are saying it raises even more questions than answers. Hilos, and then there's a third group, the ones who think this might just be the beginning of a much deeper story that hasn't fully come to light yet. Unconfirmed reports suggest that this new information could connect dots that were previously ignored. But again, nothing is confirmed. Still, the timing, the reactions, and the sudden shift in conversation online, it's all too intense to ignore. You've got fans debating in comment sections, influencers dropping theories, and people asking one big question: what really happened? Because whatever this new evidence is, it didn't just update the story, it changed everything. The situation surrounding Pooh Shiesty has taken a turn that nobody saw coming, and fans are trying to make sense of what it all means. What once seemed like a case that people had already formed opinions about is now being questioned again, and this time it feels different. There is a new wave of attention building online, and it's not just casual discussion. Social media is going crazy, timelines are flooded, and people are digging deeper than ever before. The phrase new evidence has been circulating everywhere, and with that comes a mix of confusion, curiosity, and intense speculation. But at the center of it all is one important detail: nothing is fully confirmed yet, and that uncertainty is exactly what's fueling the conversation. Fans are shocked because just when things appeared to settle into a predictable direction, something unexpected surfaced. Some people believe this new development could change how the entire situation is viewed, while others are more skeptical, questioning whether it's being blown out of proportion. Still, the energy online tells a different story. Emotions are running high, and people are reacting fast. One user posted, "If this is real, everything we thought we knew might be wrong." While another responded, "We've seen this before. Let's wait for actual confirmation." That contrast in reactions shows just how divided the audience has become. To understand why this moment feels so intense, you have to look at the impact Pooh Shiesty has had in the rap scene. His rise wasn't quiet or slow, it was explosive. From viral tracks to major collaborations, he quickly built a name that carried weight. That kind of spotlight doesn't just disappear when controversy hits. Instead, it amplifies everything. Every update, every rumor, every new detail becomes bigger than it might be for someone else. That's exactly what's happening now. People aren't just watching, they're invested. And that investment is what turns a situation like this into something much larger than a typical news update. At the same time, there's a layer of mystery that keeps pulling people in. Some fans believe the new evidence could involve connections that weren't previously discussed, while others think it might relate to details that were overlooked earlier. Unconfirmed reports suggest that certain elements of the case are being re examined, but again, nothing is confirmed. That hasn't stopped people from forming theories, though. In fact, it's doing the opposite. The lack of clear answers is creating more questions, and those questions are spreading rapidly across platforms. So there's also a noticeable shift in how people are talking about it. Earlier discussions were more straightforward, often based on what was already known. Now, the tone has changed. It feels more intense, more uncertain, and in some ways, more emotional. People are not just discussing facts, they're debating possibilities. One comment reads, "What if there's more behind the scenes that we never saw?" While another says, "We shouldn't jump to conclusions without proof." That tension between curiosity and caution is shaping the entire conversation. Behind all of this is the reality that situations like these are rarely simple. There are always multiple sides, multiple perspectives, and often details that don't become clear until much later. That's why some people are choosing to step back and wait, even as the noise continues to grow. But waiting isn't easy when every few hours there seems to be a new post, a new theory, or a new reaction. The constant flow of information keeps pulling people back in, making it hard to ignore. What makes this moment even more significant is how quickly things are evolving. Just days ago, the conversation looked completely different. Now, it feels like everything is shifting again. That sense of unpredictability is what keeps viewers locked in. Nobody wants to miss the next update, the next detail, or the next twist. And as the discussion continues to build, one thing is clear: this is no longer just a simple update. It's turning into a situation that could reshape how people see the entire case, depending on what comes next. For now, all eyes are on what will be revealed next. People are watching closely and analyzing every piece of information and trying to connect the dots. But until something is officially confirmed, everything remains in that uncertain space between fact and speculation. And in that space, the story continues to grow, pulling more people in with every passing moment. As the conversation continued to spread, the tone online began to shift from curiosity to intensity. What started as a few discussions quickly turned into a full wave of reactions, with social media platforms flooded by clips, screenshots, and opinions. People weren't just watching anymore, they were actively trying to piece things together. Fans are shocked at how fast everything escalated, and emotions ran high as new interpretations of the situation started to take shape. And some people believe this new evidence could be something major that hasn't been publicly explained yet, while others think it might be a misunderstanding that's being amplified by the internet. Either way, the attention around the case is growing stronger by the hour. At the center of this surge is the way information is being shared. Short clips are circulating with bold captions, and reaction pages are posting updates that spark even more debate. One post claimed, "This changes everything we thought we knew," while another pushed back saying, "People need to relax, nothing is confirmed." That back and forth dynamic is what's driving the momentum. Social media is going crazy, and every new post seems to pull in more viewers who want to understand what's really going on. But with so many voices speaking at once, it's becoming harder to separate facts from assumptions. Some fans have started revisiting older details, looking for anything that might connect to this new development. They're analyzing past interviews, lyrics, and public appearances, trying to find clues that could explain what's happening now. Unconfirmed reports suggest that certain timelines are being questioned, and that alone has opened the door to even more speculation. People are asking, was there something we missed before? And could this have been building up the whole time? These kinds of questions are spreading quickly, and they're adding layers to an already complicated situation. At the same time, there's a noticeable divide in how people are reacting. One side is convinced that this new information points to a deeper story, or to something that hasn't been fully revealed yet. They're connecting dots, sharing theories, and building narratives that feel convincing even without confirmation. The other side is more cautious, reminding everyone that jumping to conclusions can be dangerous. Comments like, "Let's wait for official updates," and "We've seen rumors spiral out of control before," are becoming more common. This split is creating tension, and that tension is keeping the conversation alive. There's also an emotional element that can't be ignored. For many fans, Pooh Shiesty isn't just another artist. He represents a certain energy, a certain moment in hip hop that people connected with. That connection makes the situation feel more personal. People aren't just discussing a case. One, they're reacting to something that affects how they view an artist they've followed. That's why the reactions are so strong. It's not just about facts and updates, it's about perception, loyalty, and the way narratives are formed. Meanwhile, some content creators and commentators are stepping in, offering their own takes on the situation. They're breaking down what's being said, comparing different perspectives, and sometimes adding their own theories into the mix. While this brings more attention to the topic, it also adds to the complexity. Every new opinion introduces another angle, another possibility, and another reason for people to keep watching. But again, nothing is confirmed, and that uncertainty continues to shape the entire discussion. One of the most talked about aspects right now is the idea that this could be a turning point. Some people think this moment might shift how the case is understood moving forward, while others believe it's too early to say anything definitive. That contrast is what makes the situation feel so unpredictable. It's like everyone is waiting for a piece of information that will either confirm the theories or shut them down completely. Until that happens, the speculation continues to grow. As more time passes, the pressure for clarity is increasing. People want answers, but answers aren't coming quickly. Instead, they're getting fragments, small pieces of information that raise more questions than they solve. That pattern is keeping the story alive and making it even more intense. Every update feels important, even if it doesn't provide a full picture. And with each new development, the stakes seem to rise just a little bit higher. Right now, the situation feels like it's building towards something bigger. The reactions are stronger, the discussions are deeper, and the level of attention is higher than before. But at the same time, the lack of confirmed details means that everything is still in a state of uncertainty. People are watching, waiting, and trying to make sense of it all. And as the conversation continues to evolve, one thing is becoming clear: this story is far from over, and whatever comes next could have a major impact on how everything is understood. As the situation continues to unfold, the intensity has reached a whole new level. What once felt like speculation is now turning into something much heavier, and something that's pulling more people into the conversation every minute. Fans are shocked at how quickly the narrative keeps shifting, and emotions are running higher than ever before. Social media is going crazy, but now it's not just about curiosity, it's about confusion, frustration, and the growing sense that something bigger might be happening behind the scenes. People are no longer just reacting, they're deeply invested, trying to understand what this all means. The biggest change right now is how personal the discussions have become. Earlier, people were sharing opinions from a distance, but now it feels like everyone has taken a side. Some are defending Pooh Shiesty, saying that the situation is being misunderstood, or that key details are still missing. Others are questioning everything, pointing to the new evidence and asking whether it reveals something that wasn't clear before. And in the middle of it all, there are viewers who don't know what to believe anymore. Comments like, "This doesn't add up," and "We're not getting the full story," are appearing everywhere. What's making things even more intense is the way theories are evolving. At first, it was simple speculation, But now, some people believe there could be deeper connections that haven't been revealed yet. Unconfirmed reports suggest that certain aspects of the case might involve details that were never fully explained in public. That idea alone has sparked a wave of discussion, with fans revisiting old moments and trying to link them to what's happening now. Still, nothing is confirmed, and that uncertainty is what keeps the conversation open ended. There's also a growing sense of pressure within the online community. People want clarity, but instead, they're getting more layers of mystery. Every time someone thinks they figured something out, another piece of information appears and changes the direction of the discussion. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep moving. That feeling is creating tension, and you can see it in the way people are responding. Some are becoming more cautious, warning others not to jump to conclusions, while others are diving even deeper into speculation. At the same time, the emotional impact of the situation is becoming more visible. For fans who have followed Pooh Shiesty's career, this isn't just news, it's something that affects how they see him as an artist and as a person. That connection is making reactions more intense. While some people are expressing support, saying things like, "We need to wait" before judging, while others are expressing disappointment or confusion. This mix of emotions is what makes the situation feel so real and so complicated. Another factor adding to the drama is the role of online voices and influencers. As more people with large followings begin to share their opinions, the conversation spreads even faster. Some are breaking down the situation in detail, while others are adding their own interpretations. This creates a ripple effect, where one opinion leads to another, and suddenly, the entire narrative starts to shift again. But with so many perspectives being shared, it becomes harder to know what's accurate and what's simply speculation. The phrase "nothing is confirmed" keeps coming up, and for good reason. And despite all the discussion, there's still no clear answer that ties everything together. That lack of confirmation is what keeps the story alive, but it also adds to the confusion. People are left trying to separate facts from rumors, and in a fast moving environment like social media, that's not easy to do. Still, the demand for answers continues to grow, and that demand is pushing the conversation forward. What's most noticeable right now is the sense that this situation is building towards something important. The stakes feel higher, the reactions are stronger, and the level of attention is at its peak. It's no longer just about one update or one piece of evidence, it's about the bigger picture. People are starting to ask deeper questions, not just about what happened, but about why things are unfolding the way they are. At this point, as it feels like everyone is waiting for a moment of clarity, something that will either confirm the theories or change the narrative completely. Until that happens, the tension will remain, the discussions will continue, the theories will evolve, and the emotions will stay high. Because right now, the story is still moving, and every new detail has the potential to shift everything once again. Now, the situation has reached a point where everything feels uncertain, and that uncertainty is what's keeping everyone locked in. The new evidence is still being discussed from every angle, but instead of bringing clear answers, it has created even more questions. Fans are shocked at how things have unfolded, and the intensity hasn't slowed down at all. Social media is going crazy, but now the conversation carries a different weight. It's no longer just about reacting, it's about trying to understand a story that keeps shifting every time a new detail appears. What makes this moment stand out is the feeling that something bigger is about to happen. People are watching closely, almost expecting another update to drop at any moment. Some believe this could be the turning point where everything finally starts to make sense. while others think the situation is still far from being fully revealed. That divide in opinion is stronger than ever. One side is convinced that this new development changes how the entire case should be viewed, while the other side remains cautious, reminding everyone that nothing is confirmed. There's also growing attention on the timing of everything, and many people are asking why this new information is coming out now and what it could mean moving forward. Unconfirmed reports suggest that there may be additional details connected to what has already surfaced, but again, nothing is confirmed. Still, that possibility has sparked even more speculation. People are questioning whether this is just one piece of a larger puzzle, or if it's the key that could unlock the full story. At the same time, the emotional tension has reached its peak. Fans who were once confident in their opinions are now unsure, and that uncertainty is creating a different kind of energy. Some are doubling down on their beliefs, defending their perspective with even more intensity, while others are stepping back and reconsidering everything they thought they knew. Comments like, we're missing something important, and this doesn't feel complete yet, are becoming more common. That sense of something being unfinished is what keeps the discussion alive. Another layer to this situation is how quickly narratives are forming and reforming. One moment, a theory gains traction and starts to feel convincing, and the next moment, it's being challenged by new information or a different interpretation. This constant shift is making it difficult for anyone to feel certain about what's true, but at the same time, it's what keeps people engaged. Every update feels like it could be the one that finally brings clarity, even if it ends up raising more questions instead. Influencers and commentators are still heavily involved, adding their voices to the conversation and pushing different perspectives. Some are urging patience, on emphasizing the importance of waiting for confirmed details, while others are diving into speculation and exploring every possible angle. This mix of caution and curiosity is shaping how the story is being told online. It's not just one narrative, it's multiple narratives competing for attention, each one trying to make sense of the same situation in a different way. Despite all the noise, one thing remains clear: there is no final answer yet. The new evidence has changed the conversation, but it hasn't completed it. If anything, it has opened the door to even more possibilities. People are now looking beyond the surface, asking deeper questions, and trying to understand the bigger picture. But without confirmation, everything remains in that uncertain space where facts and theories overlap. That's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not about a clear conclusion, it's about the tension of not knowing. It's about the feeling that something important is still hidden, waiting to be revealed. And as long as that feeling exists, the conversation will continue. People will keep watching, keep analyzing, and keep trying to connect the dots. Right now, it feels like the story is at a critical point. The attention is high, the emotions are strong, and the demand for answers is growing. But until something definitive comes out, everything remains open-ended. The new evidence may have changed everything, but it hasn't finished anything. And that's what keeps everyone on edge, waiting for the next move, the next update, the next piece of information that could finally bring clarity to a situation that still feels incomplete. So now the situation stands at a point where everything feels bigger than before, but still incomplete. The new evidence has definitely shifted the conversation, but it hasn't given us a clear answer. Fans are shocked, people are divided, and social media is still going crazy trying to figure out what all of this really means. Some believe this changes everything, while others think we're still missing key pieces of the story. And the truth is, nothing is confirmed. That's what makes this so interesting. Every update adds more pressure, more curiosity, and more questions. It feels like we're getting closer to something important, but we're not quite there yet. And until something official comes out, everything stays in that space between fact and speculation. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened? Do you believe this new evidence actually changes the case? Or do you think people are reading too much into it? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is one of those situations where every opinion matters. And if you're into real, dramatic, and high stakes rap news like this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in. Because trust me, this story is not over yet.